Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome back or welcome to autumn. It is cold. It's absolutely pissing it down here in London. South London to be exact, Peckham, the glamorous world. It's getting cold, it's damp. I've got on this fluffy white number and we're going into the deep dark world of autumn/fall. Hi to you in North America. I am Robin, this is Man for Himself. If you like hair product reviews, grooming, skincare, fragrance and videos like this very one, then please do hit subscribe. This is one of the last videos I'm going to be filming here. I'm moving to Edinburgh next week, so I'm going to try and bank a couple of videos so I can get them out, so then I can get myself settled, comfortable, and then be able to do this again. So yeah, there you go. So I'm going to do a couple of these autumn fall fragrance videos for you just because there's so many good ones. Let's just get going. Okay, the first one that I've got is one that actually every time I do a video like this, people mention. This is Maison Margiella Replica and it's Jazz Club. It is incredible. Now, Maison Margiella, designer fashion house, who have got fragrances. Replica is all about creating almost like a memory. They've got one called Whispers in the Library, which is kind of like waxy. It's almost a bit musky. They've got a fireplace one, which could be coming up. They've just got some really gorgeous fragrances, but this is one of my favorites. Jazz Club is supposed to smell like a 1920s jazz club with a Brooklyn jazz club with tobacco leaf, a little bit of vanilla, some rum. So it smells like just really fantastic cocktails. There's energy to it, there's movement. You can imagine like a saxophonist in the corner, almost like kind of drinks just spilling around a little. I've put it into autumn because the rum in this and the vanilla gives it a real warmth. And it's a warmth that I think we look to in these cooler months. I think you can have so much fun with an autumn fall fragrance. Let's just call it autumn. I'm in the UK. With an autumn fragrance, everything just seems to have a little bit more personality into these cooler months. Summer, I kind of am just a bit like, I'm a deeper, darker, heavier all year round. That is just me. So now that I know a lot more people are going to be wearing things like this into these months, it makes me very happy. But this one is just so great. I can imagine myself being sat up at a bar, maybe like a sort of oversized dinner jacket, undone, white shirt, really good like wide-legged trouser, and having a drink, and it's just kind of like swirling around a bit. I'm in deep conversation with someone, and there's just all these aromas, just like a slight sort of smokiness in the air, and just like the energy of people, I think is just what I get in this. The other one that I may be featuring, I am featuring it, do not worry, it's coming up in another one, is more of those cozy vibes. This still has a little bit of excitement about it. So this is fantastic. I absolutely love this. It will be linked down below, and also they are all on manforhimself.com. The second one, where should we go with this? Let's go with, so we had rum there. Let's go chocolate. This is Akro and it's dark. Now, I put up an interview 2 weeks ago with Olivier Cresp. He is the master perfumer behind this brand. Akro is about addictions and vices. They've got one that smells like cannabis smoke called Haze. They've got one that's a kind of like a cumin, spicy, like quite like sex. They've got other ones, a whiskey one called Malt, which I think is incredible. But I've chosen this one because it's gourmand in the right way. And I just think this is exactly, again, what we want in these sort of cooler months. Something, this is so incredible. It's dark chocolate. It's so good. It makes me think of just opening a wrapper of something like 85% cocoa or above, and just sort of having that almost like powdery sort of quality to a really fantastic chocolate. And it gets like a bit sort of clacky on the, it's not even a word. Is it a word? Let's go with it. A bit sort of like clacky on the back of the throat into kind of like the teeth here and the jaw. And you're working around it. It's slightly bitter, but there's also a sweetness to it. I'm pretty sure there's also a lemon note in here. So it kind of just gives it just almost like a little lemon rind across the top. It's so fantastic. And I think what is so great about this brand is Olivier Cresp and his daughter have quite literally taken moments and taken experiences and they've bottled them. They are so true. Where some fragrances can be a little bit more of that art and the marketing, this smells exactly as it should, and I think it is just pure art. They are incredible. If you've not smelt them, I will link the discovery set. I need you to try them. Please try them. So incredible. So we've gone cocktails and smoky tobacco. We've got chocolate. Let's give you something a little... Do you know what? I'm going to jump back and give you another rum one. This is Havana Noir by Ausmane. Ausmane. And it's the French fragrance brand. I picked this up last year. It must have been about, I want to say November. I picked it up when I was there for a press trip in Paris. And I had a little walk down the Champs-Elysees. I went in somewhere and I had some lunch by myself. I had a coffee, I had a really good salad. What was up with me at that point? Maybe some sort of health kick. And then I went downstairs and I just really went wild with the fragrance. I think because I work a lot with grooming and fragrance products, there's so much coming in. So for me to be able to go out by myself and pick stuff up and experience it in that way is just so exciting. I mean, you're probably thinking that's exactly what most people do, Robin. But for me, when it's coming through the door, it sometimes feels like it's being dictated by others. And so to smell this, it smells incredible. Now, this is a smoky rum. There's a tobacco in this again. This is a little like Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. It's far more manageable in terms of price. And I would say it's just ever so slightly sweeter. But you've got those, like the perfect combination of the smoky tobacco with the sweetness of the vanilla. There's also some sort of like candied dry fruit in this too, which is just so beautiful. This is like a sort of syrup quality on the skin, and it's the kind of thing that I think gives you a sort of early evening vibe. It's not a sort of after drinks and it's all getting a bit sexy and a little bit smoky. It's more kind of like the warm up to that, and it gives you that sort of flirty vibe and something which is really quite impactful. And I love how this projects, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's actually, when I bought it, it's now just kind of sat in a box, which was ridiculous. And when I went through all my fragrances behind here, I picked this one out and I just was like, why have I not been wearing this? It is so incredible, and it's a brand that I'm quite excited to try more of. So give that a shot. Let's take you to New York, Fifth Avenue by Fragrance du Bois. Now this is supposed to smell like winter in New York. New York in summer smells absolutely rancid. Hi if you live in New York, but I've had a couple of summers in New York and just the smell is sick in the head. Just not great. And actually, while it's been hot in London over summer, it has smelled like that, sort of like warm rubbish sewage. Not this though. This is incredible, and I popped this in this top 5 because for any of you that have maybe been thinking with some of the other ones that I've just spoken about and you thought, maybe sounds a little too sweet or it sounds a little too boozy, then this could give you that sort of hybrid across them. This is a slightly sweet, spicy wood. There's a top note here of bergamot and rose. Rose is incredible. I absolutely love a rose fragrance. And I love how it works with this. There's rose, there's Nagarmatha, which is a slight sort of leathery note. There's also these woods in the base, and then just a slight sweetness. I love this because it's optimistic. It's optimistic and it's bright, and it feels like it's looking out to the sort of new world. I say new world in terms of seasons, in that, you know, with winter, although you can have the coziness, you can also have something incredibly crisp and something which is almost looking ahead towards that spring. And I think this is what gives you this. I mean, I could have, maybe should have held this onto sort of a winter edit, but I think actually with the sort of citrus and the rose, you're bridging that gap between summer into these cooler months. And I think it's really, really beautiful. This is also, I know that a few of you sometimes ask, like, Is that okay for a woman? Is that okay for a man? I would say, again, with any fragrance, you wear what you like, and it all depends on how you hold yourself with that fragrance. I think that is the most important thing, rather than the marketing around something. But I do think that this gives you that lightness and something which may be sort of thought as slightly more feminine. I love wearing rose, and I think you can, if you get the combination right, it almost feels like quite a rugged rose, especially with those leather notes, with the woods. It's beautiful. And the dry down on this is incredible. More of those woody notes come through and just are so great. Okay, 4. Let's give you one more. Now, the final one that I've picked for you is, thank you, it is Herod by Parfums de Marly. We've had a few which have been a little bit Parisian, haven't we? Have we? Olivia Cresp, yeah, Replica, 4 of these. Now, this is one of those fragrances that I just think is almost like it could be a calling card for a lot of you. It smells premium, there's a sexiness to it, there's like a grounded sort of quality to it, and a maturity. I know that a lot of fragrance brands hate when something being me, someone, says that a fragrance smells mature. I don't mean mature in a stuffy old sense, but I mean mature in like a, just really knows themselves and feels very solid and very grounded. And that's what I get with this. Again, there's a slight sweetness in this with vanilla pod. There's a spice with cinnamon in the top. There's a bit of pepper. But there's just something incredibly like welcoming about this, and like slightly familiar. Something which is, it's fresh, there's still a crisp sort of note to it, and it just feels like clean. It's clean, but with this woody base that just really sort of has this like echo to it. It's really great, and this actually was one of the first, so when I went on a press trip with Parfums de Marly 3 years ago, I keep on forgetting how many years ago things were because we've had the pandemic. So it must have been 2019, and I didn't know anything about the brand. I went across with the PR and some other guys, and we went into the boutique and we spoke to the team behind Parfums de Marly and had a go over the fragrances, and this is the one that I picked. A lot of people went with this sort of lighter, brighter, ozonic, sort of saltier, fresher fragrances. But I just gravitated straight towards this just because it gave me this feeling of like safety and warmth. And it's so great. I also think that for a lot of you, it has the right sort of masculinity to it. Like, it's not in your face, and it's not like 10 fragrances to do something with. It's just, I just love how secure I feel with this, and just the right amount of spice, the right amount of sweetness, and beautiful woodiness to it. So it is incredible. I'm gonna link all of them down below. As I say, I did think, I'm roasting, God, this was far too hot to wear. I did think about doing a top 5, and then I just thought, do you know what, Robin, it's so pointless doing that because there are so many incredible fragrances over here that I just want to give you so many. So I'm gonna do another one. Another one will be coming up, and hopefully you can find something you like. Please do comment, let me know if you're enjoying these videos. Come and see me on TikTok, Man From Self, and also Instagram, Man From Self. Everything will be linked up there and down below. Press subscribe if you've not yet done so. But until my next new video, bye-bye.